Rise and shine. So, what are we hitting today? It is leg day, the best day of the week. No, not really. I don't like leg day at all, but it is a non-negotiable. You already know this is a day that we never skip. We hit legs twice a week with our split. We do push-pull legs. However, it is Saturday, so at least there's that. I couldn't sleep, so I figured let's go early, get leg day out of the way, and, hopefully the gym isn't too crowded when we get there. It is currently 3:24 a.m. It's pretty early for a Saturday, I'm not gonna lie. However, like I said, I couldn't sleep, so might as well just wake up and get the gym over with bright and early. We're gonna be doing a heavy leg day, so squats, RDLs, seated hamstring curls, leg extensions, and we are also gonna be doing some cardio afterwards. And yeah, no more dilly-dallying. Let's get this show on the road. So, one thing that people tend to ask me is, why do I train legs so frequently? And the reason being for that is legs require the most volume because they can recover pretty quickly, in my opinion. And also, genetically, I feel like legs is where I lack in. So I tend to train the body parts where I lack on a physical aspect genetically a little bit more frequently because it'll help it grow a lot faster. That's what I would suggest for anybody who is struggling to grow a certain body part. Whatever your weak points are, you want to target those a little bit more frequently and aggressively, because that's what's going to get you to push past those plateaus in terms of genetics. Because genetics do play a huge role in how you look and appear physically in terms of a muscular level. From a muscular aspect, genetics play such a significant role into the way you're going to look overall. However, just because you have bad genetics doesn't mean you're limited to that. You can always find a way to work around it and put in more effort and work to push past those genetic plateaus. So let's say chest is your weak point. Instead of hitting chest once a week, you'd probably want to hit it twice a week. Or maybe increase the volume of the sets by 1. Instead of doing 2 sets, hit an extra set, maybe hit 3. That is what's going to get you to grow, is pushing past your comfort zone and really kind of showing your body that you're not going to let these genetics be this stubborn and prevent you from putting on size and mass. One of my favorite quotes from Tom Platz, I quote Tom Platz a lot, but one of my favorite quotes from him is, "I will not be a victim to my genetics. They will be a victim to me." And I think that's very inspiring. One thing you're probably wondering as well, why do you hit cardio after your lift? And the reason why you want to prioritize cardio or some type of cardiovascular movement, whether it be on your rest days or after the gym, and the reason for that is because you want to make sure your cardiovascular health is in check so you're not giving out or getting too winded when lifting. I kind of touched upon it briefly yesterday. I said you want to make sure you're reaching muscular fatigue rather than cardiovascular fatigue. And the reason being for that is because if you're giving out and getting so tired and fatigued on a breathing level in terms of cardiovascular health before your muscle gives out, then you're not fully optimizing your training. Think about it. If you're getting winded after 5 reps of pulling a weight and you have more strength in the tank, but you're giving out because your heart health is not the best, then you're leaving a lot of reps left over in reserve and you're not actually training to failure. So making sure that you're getting enough steps throughout the day and just making sure your heart health is overall in good condition is very, very detrimental to your overall training in the gym. Now, you also want to make sure you're not overdoing the cardio. Remember, cardio itself is catabolic and training for muscular growth is anabolic. So the harder you do your cardio and the more intense it is, the greater chances you will have at losing muscle mass, which is what you don't want. If you're trying to build muscle, you're not trying to lose it or have it deteriorate or burn away when doing excessive cardio. You want to make sure you're holding on to as much mass as possible and retaining that muscular size. Whenever I do suggest people to do cardio or try to get your steps in, you want to make sure you're doing it post-workout and keep the intensity level low. You always want to keep the intensity at a pretty decent pace and not overdo it. A good steady walking pace is more than enough. Treat it as like you're going on a walk. You don't have to go crazy intense. No one is saying you have to run a marathon or jog like crazy or run or sprint like crazy. Put the setting at a reasonable pace where you can walk comfortably for about an hour. And if you don't have an hour, try to get your steps throughout the day. 10,000 steps a day is what I try to suggest most people. That's roughly around 5 miles. And I know it sounds like a lot and it might seem impossible. It's definitely doable. If you're having trouble or issues getting those steps in, you can always find a way to make some time for it after the gym. But again, it really just comes down to how bad do you want it? Don't make excuses either. I know 10,000 steps sounds like a lot, but if it's not doable in the gym, you can certainly find a way to do it outside of the gym. Stop making excuses. Make sure you're getting your cardio in and get those steps in. It's very, very important to make sure you're prioritizing your cardiovascular health so that way you can train the most optimally in terms of building muscle. It is extremely, extremely early. The parking lot is empty. Looks like a ghost town in there. So this is going to be a good day. Leg days are always the best when the gym is empty and I can snag a Smith bright and early and also not having to deal with a super crowded gym. So that's always amazing. And it is currently 3:35 in the morning. So I'm going to finish my drink, head inside, film the sets and show all that jazz, show the progression in the pump afterwards. You already know this whole spiel. And once I'm done, I'll see you guys afterwards. Alrighty. So that pretty much wraps it up. As you can tell by the footage, the legs were pumped up today. I got a sick ass pump. The legs are looking juicy, thick. A little bit of striation popping up too on the front of the quads, which is great. I'm trying to maintain as much of that lean mass as possible while, you know, building up as much size. And it's been going great. I feel like I've been making a lot of progression with the squats and leg extensions and RDLs as well. I hit a PR with the RDLs. Overall, it was a solid workout. I got a good pump. I managed to do some cardio afterwards as well. Took a little bit longer with the cardio because my legs were pretty much fucking fried by that point, but I did do my 3 miles. Try to aim for around 10,000 steps a day or roughly 5 miles. For me, 3 miles is a good amount because I do have a high metabolic rate. Do what you can. If it's doable, try to get in as many steps as you can a day. It's very important to prioritize your cardiovascular health. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. Happy Saturday. You know, we made it through the work week. Let's try to lock in and crush our goals. Remember, summer's not too far away. We're in the middle of April. We're basically almost halfway through the year already. So, you know, summer's right around the corner. Right now is the time to lock in. If you're trying to obtain a certain physique or get to another level of shreds, right now is the time to start prioritizing that cut or, you know, changing up your diet a little bit and crushing your goals and locking in. Don't be afraid to lock in. Right now is the time to do it. The last thing you want to do is be the person who slacked on their goals and then didn't obtain them in time. So try to crush your goals. If you have some leftover resolutions from the start of the year, it's never too late to pursue them. I know it's hard to do things on a day-to-day basis. If you can dial in for a few weeks, that's all it takes is just a few weeks of commitment to notice a visible change. But it all has to stem from you, and it has to come from how bad do you want it. So don't slack. Let's have a great week. Let's lock in, accomplish those goals, crush those fitness goals. Every day that you come to the gym matters, and every time you show up, it makes a difference. One day at a time, one meal at a time, one rep at a time. Every rep, every meal, every workout session you come in here and you commit yourself to the gym makes a huge difference, whether you see it or believe it or not. It really does help and it makes a huge difference towards your goals. So don't give up. Right now is the time to attack. Anyways, I digress. Enough of that. I'm going to go home, edit this little guy together, get some food in me, shower, change, get ready for the day. You know all that jazz. Tomorrow's my rest day, so most likely no video. But until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Alrighty.